The harder you try with her, the faster she pulls away. And the worst part, you already know this is happening. You can feel the energy shifting, the replies slowing down, the enthusiasm fading, but somehow you keep trying harder anyway. If you have ever been caught in that loop, today's episode is going to explain exactly why it happens, and more importantly, how to step out of it for good. Welcome back to Don Juan Decoded. I am glad you are here. In our last episode, we talked about why nice guy behavior repels women, and how it comes down to an energy of fear rather than genuine connection. Today, we are going deeper into one specific pattern that shows up in almost every man who struggles with attraction. It is called the Desperation Trap. And the reason it is so damaging is that it feels exactly like the right thing to do. It feels like effort. It feels like commitment. But from her side, it feels like pressure. By the end of this episode, you will understand what desperation actually is beneath the surface, why it creates the opposite of what you want, and the exact shift that changes everything. Let us get into it. Most men have been in this situation. You meet someone who genuinely excites you. She seems like exactly the kind of woman you have been looking for. So you go all in. You text consistently. You make yourself available. You put real thought and effort into every interaction. And for a while, it seems like it might be working. But then something shifts. Her replies start taking longer. She seems less engaged. She is always a little too busy. And eventually, the thing you were most afraid of happens. She fades out, or gives you the line. I just do not feel that spark. You are confused. You did everything right. You showed up. You were honest about how you felt. You put in genuine effort. Here is what no one told you. That effort, in that form, was broadcasting something you did not mean to broadcast. Every text sent within seconds of receiving hers. Every plan rearranged around her schedule. Every compliment, every gift, every gentle agreement with things you did not actually agree with. Each of those things, individually, looks thoughtful, but together they add up to one very clear message. I need you to like me. My mood depends on whether you respond. My sense of value depends on your approval. She does not decode this consciously, but she feels it. And what she feels is not warmth. It is weight. Psychologists describe this kind of energy as draining. You are coming into the interaction with a deficit, and without meaning to, you are asking her to fill it. And nobody wants to spend time with someone who needs something from them before the relationship has even started. There is also a second thing happening beneath the surface. When you pursue this intensely, especially early, you are signaling something about how you see yourself. The signal is, I do not quite believe I am enough on my own, so I am going to work very hard to compensate. And the harder you work, the clearer that signal becomes. The cruel irony is that the more you try to close the gap, the wider it gets. The more you chase, the more she retreats, not because she is trying to be difficult, but because that is what human beings do when they feel pressured. They create distance. Here is the reframe that changes everything. You are not trying to earn a spot in her life. She is trying to earn a spot in yours. When you first hear this, it might sound like arrogance, but it is not about ego. It is about understanding where genuine attraction actually comes from. Think about what you are actually offering. Your time is limited. Your energy is limited. Your emotional investment, the kind that builds a real relationship, that is worth something. You are not just a guy who is available. You are a person with a life, standards, and something worth investing in. That position in your life, the role of a woman who gets your real attention and care, is not a small thing. It should not be given away just because someone seems promising from the outside. Think of it like this. If you were hiring for the most important role in your company, you would not hand the position to the first person whose resume looked good. You would run them through a real process. Ask hard questions. See how they handle things. Let them prove themselves over time. Then, only after they showed you they were genuinely the right fit, would you give them the role. The same principle applies here. She looks good on the surface. That is interesting. But she has not proven yet that she brings the character, the effort, the consistency, the values that make her worth a real investment. Let her show you that. Do not decide before the evidence is in. When this shift actually lands, something changes in how you move. You stop performing. You stop editing your messages 3 times before sending. You stop shrinking your personality to match what you think she wants. You become genuinely curious instead of anxious. You ask real questions because you actually want to know the answers, not because you are trying to seem interesting. You can disagree with her calmly because you have actual opinions. You can let a conversation end without panicking. And all of that, every single one of those things, registers as confidence. Not the loud, performed kind, the quiet kind that comes from a man who knows his own worth and is not in a hurry to give it away. That quality is rare, and it is magnetic. Here is how to actually build this in real life. The first step is to become your own source of energy. Desperation does not come from liking someone too much. It comes from having an empty space that you are trying to fill with their attention. When your life has no real momentum, you unconsciously look for someone else to provide it. The answer is not another woman. It is building a life that genuinely excites you on its own. Your work, your fitness, your friendships, the projects you care about. These are not tactics to attract women. They are the foundation of a life worth living. And as a result, they naturally make you someone worth being around. The second step is to let go of the outcome. Before every interaction, remind yourself, this might not go anywhere. And that is okay. Your life is already full. You are here to find out if she is worth your time, not to convince her you are worth hers. This is not detachment. It is security. A man who is genuinely okay with things not working out, because he trusts that his life has value with or without this particular person, carries a completely different energy than one who needs it to work. The third step is to be actually authentic. The desperate man filters himself constantly. He softens his opinions. He avoids anything she might not agree with. He laughs at things he finds mediocre. He tries to become whatever version of himself he thinks she wants. Stop doing this. Your real opinions, your actual sense of humor, the things you genuinely stand for, these are not problems to hide. They are the source of real attraction. A man who has a point of view, who can hold his ground without getting defensive, who does not need everyone to agree with him, that man is interesting. He is worth getting to know. Let her meet the real version of you from the beginning. If she is not drawn to that, she was never the right fit. The fourth step is to give from fullness, not from need. There is a version of generosity that comes with a hidden expectation. She can feel it, even if you never say it out loud. The energy of "I am doing this so you will like me" comes through in everything. There is another version, giving from a place of genuine enjoyment, wanting to create a good experience with no strings attached. That version feels completely different. Compliment her when you actually mean it. Plan things because they are genuinely good, not because you are trying to earn something. And finally, filter instead of chasing. Shift your internal question from, how do I get her to like me, to, is she someone I actually want in my life? Ask real questions. Pay attention to the answers. Notice whether she puts in effort in return. Notice whether time with her leaves you energized or drained. You have a position to fill. Not just anyone should get it. Let the right person show you they deserve it. If this episode hit something real for you, the full chapter, with specific examples, exercises, and the complete system, is in the ebook linked in the description. Subscribe if you want weekly episodes on confidence, authentic attraction, and becoming the kind of man who does not need to chase. And drop a comment below. Have you ever caught yourself in the desperation trap? What finally helped you step out of it? I read everyone. Next week, we are going into something that sits underneath all of this: self-worth. Specifically, what happens when confidence does not come naturally, when you know all the right things to do, but cannot seem to actually feel them. That is Chapter 3, Building Unshakable Self-Worth from the Inside Out. See you then.